Alrighty guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ. And up next we have DJ Akademiks telling Wack100 that Kendrick Lamar is a battle rapper, comparing him to Murder Mook and to never compare his impact to music to Kanye West. After Wack said Kendrick Lamar should attack Ye for saying Drake is a million times better than him. And at this point of Kanye's career, engaging with him would be like engaging the crazed homeless person on the side of the road. Ye is doing anything and everything he can to gain attention, especially coming off one of the most unhinged interviews to date. Kendrick responding to Ye would be feeding into exactly what he wants. He tried to do the same thing to Drake last year and now has obviously put his focus on Kendrick Lamar, cementing himself as one of the biggest flip-floppers in hip-hop. And honestly, because of his reactions to both, it just feels like intense jealousy at this point that he's not the center of attention. He's reacted to Drake like this literally since Drake's career started. And while the things Kanye is doing are despicable, it's pretty sad that a Hall of Famer feels the need to do any of this stuff, but whether actual mental illness or he's totally aware of all this and just doing this on purpose, either way it's wrong and the dude definitely needs professional help. And calling an artist like Kendrick Lamar a battle rapper is a gross understatement, and I don't know too many battle rappers with the Pulitzer Prize. Honestly, I've never even heard Kendrick Lamar participating in an actual rap battle like something the likes Murder Mook would participate in. And no disrespect to like battle rap and Murder Mook, but honestly, they don't really have a track record of making mainstream commercially viable music. Nowhere to the level of Kendrick Lamar. This guy has put out classic bodies of work, so with that and the 22 Grammys on his shelf, who else would be a fair comparison? And this is not to shortchange Ye's catalog. Ye has put out some amazingly great music, classics as well, but I don't think anyone will claim that he ever had the best pen. While he's had some witty metaphors here and there, his lyrics were truly never the reason people actually tuned in. It was amazing production. And when I say production, it's not just the beat, it's the arrangement and the overall direction and vision of the music, because there is a clear distinction between beatmaker and producer, and Kanye has definitely been legendary in both, but his actions have forever tarnished his legacy. He's recently dropped a ton of music, and I feel like no one is talking about that, just his crazed antics. So enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right to the video where we have DJ Akademiks telling Wack100 that Kendrick Lamar is a battle rapper. I can't make this stuff up. At this point, this guy just says anything. And comparing him to Murder Mook, who, while very talented, is nowhere near an accurate comparison to Kendrick Lamar. Also going on to say to never compare his impact to music to Kanye West. After Wack said that Kendrick should attack Ye for saying Drake is a million times better than him. Man, if they ever actually battled, Kendrick Lamar would roast Ye. Because of their different skill sets, it would not be a good matchup for Ye. People aren't going to care how dope the beats are because Kendrick could get some amazing beats himself.
I think the politics are really being Kendrick's favorite when it comes to just the overall how the music is going to be pushed. When it comes to the rapping, I would love to hear how Ye would respond to a K-Dot diss, bro.
Here's the thing. I think
it would obviously get a ton of attention. But a lot of the same things that have followed Drake have followed Ye. The fact that he uses writers, and it's obviously going to be points against Ye if it was points against Drake.
I think if he was going to respond musically, he'd make a better song. Yo, we can't compare Kanye West and literally a nigga who he would just be fighting. He'd be just going back and forth to Murder Mook on URL. Kendrick ain't no artist like that compared to Ye.
Hey, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Kendrick
if that's the case,
Kendrick should never be mentioned in the same.
The lunacy of that take, especially coming from a guy where we have tons of footage of him saying otherwise, of Akademiks saying that all of Kendrick Lamar's albums were classic and that he was the clear #1 rapper, period. So obviously this guy is yapping nonsense and doesn't truly believe this. While Murder Mook is obviously very revered in the rap battle community, he hasn't really achieved one iota of the success Kendrick Lamar has obviously had.
Same caliber as Kanye West.
Drake is who?
What?
If that's the case, because the nigga you call him Murder Mook over Drake, so Drake is who?
What do you mean? In a battle rap sense. In a battle rap sense, we're gonna give it to Kendrick. We give it to Kendrick in a battle rap sense.
It's not just in a battle rap environment. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar's albums have way more substance, which is why they've aged better. The Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick Lamar has put out some classic bodies of work from beginning to end, weaving these stories that really people don't do anymore. People aren't creating these concept albums and paying attention to the detail needed to execute an album like that, which is why we hear a lot of these other artists just putting out 20-something songs, calling it a day, just basically putting out everything they've been recording for the last year, making it sound more like a playlist than an actual cohesive album.
Nobody's taking away his battle rap.
Kendrick could outdo Ye, is what you said.
Of course, he can't compare to Ye in any type of facet other than being able to battle rap, bro. Like, it feels disrespectful.
But that's what we talk.
That's disrespectful.
a rap battle.
But why would wait, hold on. Why
the
would
shit Ye was saying
why
could
would
trigger
Ye
a rap battle?
Why would Ye actually go in an arena of battle rap when that's never been his lane?
Bro, the shit he said on your interview, so why you didn't stop Ye from saying those things? Huh?
I mean, he was saying it right. He said
why you didn't
Akademiks was probably fearing for his life looking at this dude dressed in all black KKK attire. That room looked like a literal cell. It looked like there were bars behind that window. And the guy isn't an interviewer, that's not what he's known for. But he came off looking just as crazy as Ye did. And if Kendrick Lamar can't compare to Ye, who else do you have to throw in there? There's pretty much no one there, at least actively. And Ye's last few projects haven't been up to snuff to the quality that we've expected and standard that he's built up with his first few classic albums. And you can clearly hear the difference. Back then, the music sounded a lot more prepared. It sounded way more well thought out. Now he's basically doing all the tactics that the young dudes are doing in rap by just freestyling and punching in bar for bar, which is why it's taking a dip in quality. But even a casual listener will tell you that Kendrick Lamar's production of his albums is top tier. Because like I said earlier, there is a clear distinction between beatmaker and producer. A producer's job is literally to see the vision from beginning to end, musically and sonically, whether it comes from putting people together in a room, to collaborate, picking the overall tone and sequencing of the album, something that Kendrick Lamar has obviously been a big part of in his music.
stop him?
Listen, what that guy do with battle rap? When he said,
why you didn't stop him?
Hold on, let me restate what he said. He says Drake is
a
million.
Why I didn't stop him?
Why
you didn't stop him?
Because he was telling the truth. Drake is a million times more important to hip hop music than Kendrick Lamar. That's a fact.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's a fact. That's a
Nigga,
fact.
let me tell you something. Kendrick Lamar represents the epitome of every urban ghetto child, right? That come from every motherfucking...
I don't think it could even be argued. Kendrick Lamar is definitely the epitome of that, while as far as Drake, we have tons of footage that show the exact opposite. Obviously, the dude was privileged. I mean, he was a child star, and I'm not saying that you're going to make the most money. On the contrary, honestly, a lot of these child stars are screwed when it comes to the salary they make. Even those kid stars on like Nickelodeon and the Disney Channel were barely clearing $100K a year. But being there and having that platform definitely afforded him a lot of opportunities he probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I mean, he was already famous before he even tried rapping. And the fact that his pops and uncle is in the music biz obviously was a major help.
Ghetto area across the United States of America. Drake comes from motherfucking Canada, a motherfucking child little sitcom star. Fuck out of here. Bro, Kendrick, what he represents and stands for is way more motivational, bro, than what Drake stands for when it comes to our country, where the fuck he ain't from.
Hey, you understood that we said who is more important to music, not...
No, you said hip hop, not music. And Akademiks, just because you feel that way doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong.
Whose story we identify with.
But you will get called out.
Right? Well, Kendrick's story is definitely a story that I would believe that more people could identify with than Drake. Of course, his come-up story, his life story, yes. But who is more important to music? Brother, you can't tell me a nigga who's basically Kawhi Leonard. He drop every 5 years. You can't tell me that nigga is the most important person when it comes to hip-hop music.
No.
Stop it.
How prolific you are doesn't make you more important, though. You could be making tons of microwavable music that has no shelf life. Drake obviously has his timestamp records, but we haven't really heard any of those in a very long time. I know people are trying to make Nokia to be that and try to liken it to like Hotline Bling, but it's having nowhere near the impact that Hotline Bling had. And honestly, music videos is a dying art form. They don't have the impact that they once had. Like I said in my previous video, they're basically vanity projects for the artists now.
We take nothing from
Come
Ye.
on, we gotta stop the delusion.
Listen, we take nothing from Ye, but like Ye say, I fuck with Kendrick. He's very important. You gonna stop downplaying who he is, because if Kendrick was a New York nigga, you be on his dick right now.
No, Kendrick represents one part of hip-hop that is very important, but only one part.
It's hip-hop. Kendrick Lamar is the epitome of hip-hop. I feel like most people would agree that he embodies the essence of hip-hop way more than Drake. Drake is a pop star that uses the medium of rap and hip-hop, but I don't think he embodies it anywhere near as much as Kendrick Lamar. Definitely let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy.
No, that's not true.
That's a fact.
Kanye West represents the epitome of hip-hop. That's why he's the greatest hip-hop artist.
Kanye West represents a versatility.
I know you have some bias because you just pulled off that interview, but I don't even think you believe that. He's definitely arguably the best hip-hop producer, and overall, he's very formidable because of that, but no one tunes in, like I said earlier, to Kanye because of the lyrics. which are definitely one of the pillars of hip-hop. And it's weird that Akademiks doesn't know that. Don't get me wrong, Ye has obviously dropped classics and records that a lot of people can relate to because of the struggles or issues he's conveyed. Some powerful music, but honestly, a lot of the music he's made probably wouldn't fall too into the hip-hop category because a lot of this stuff is experimental and a lot of times gravitate more into the pop world. And it's not to diminish his influence. Obviously, when he came out, it did open the lane for a lot of other rappers, including Drake himself. There's a lot of rappers that have cited Ye as like a major influence in getting into music and them creating the type of music they make. That's obviously not a secret. But Akademiks is constantly confusing numbers with actual quality. And those two things don't always go hand in hand.
Of hip hop.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Somebody that can change the game in hip hop.
Who got a better catalog?
Ye at this point.
At this point, he ain't never going.
Kanye has definitely been the more prolific artist, and that definitely plays into this a lot because the dude has just put out that much more music. So I see how you could argue that, but Kendrick Lamar has no misses within his catalog, which is obviously something I feel like should be accounted for.
Don't change. Who's a better hip hop
we don't
artist
know,
overall?
bro. Shit happens.
Who's a better hip hop artist overall?
At this point, right now, today, I'm going with Kendrick.
You crazy. Listen, Kanye West is...
Kanye is not focused on hip-hop right now.
No.
Yo.
He's focused. Kanye is
even
focused
when he's unfocused,
even
people. When he's unfocused, he drops albums and he's still working on albums that is...
Ye is focused on positioning the people.
I don't know. I did hear that Bully Project, and while people are likening it to like his earlier stuff, it's still not his earlier stuff. A lot of the records definitely gave me like demo vibes as if the records aren't done yet. Kanye has been known to do that a lot. Drop records that are half finished and fix them as he goes. So you can't go and put up this unfinished stuff and records that are allegedly using AI and compare that to any of Kendrick's projects. There might be arguments for better catalog overall because there's just so much music, but some of those albums don't hit for everybody. Whereas for Kendrick Lamar, there's pretty much a consensus that all his albums are classics, and Akademiks, you would agree because we have you on camera agreeing to that same fact.
Hold on, but he'll even when he's unfocused, he'll be working on projects that 10,000 times will be more revolutionary and revolutionize not only sound but the current state of music than anybody else. And I'm saying even Drake and Kendrick. Yo,
Akademiks, you sir are a buffoon.
Yo, we can't. Yo, respect. We can't be talking about like niggas like Kendrick Lamar compared to the fucking GOAT. Come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, does he rap better than him? Yes, he does rap better than.
That's just like saying, and I know you're not gonna like this, but I'm finna put you in the trick bag. At one point in time, people would have said, you can't be comparing Kanye to people like Jay-Z. That's the GOAT.
True.
And look what has happened.
Comparing a guy that has had literally over 25 years in the business to someone that has like, what, 14 years at this point, with no misses in his catalog and 22 Grammys and a Pulitzer Prize to go along with that, it doesn't give off battle rapper. That pretty much defines artist. The fact that these records sound like demos and he's already admitted to using AI in his music isn't helping his case.
Well, yeah, he's a better artist. I mean, of course, he was behind.
Okay.
He was behind a lot of
acting like Kendrick ain't in his J bag on his build, bro.
Nigga, fuck out of here, bro. Right? Are you serious? Yo,
yes,
Akademiks. Hoodie, I understand he's done some shit.
We not fighting him for that.
Bro. Okay, but if we talk about strictly music, Kendrick Lamar can't hold a candle to goddamn. And by the way,
this is crazy. This is after watching Kendrick Lamar sweep the Grammy Awards and also helm the most successful halftime show. The NFL already came out and said that this was the most viewed halftime show ever. And this vendetta and this quest to tear down Kendrick Lamar is just more hilarious given the fact that we have all this footage of Akademiks saying the exact opposite that he's trying to convey now.
I think Drake either on a music level. This time that's ever came into that's ever been in hip hop. Has there been better rappers? Clearly. Drake's a better rapper. Kendrick's a better rapper, right? But overall, when it comes to hip-hop artistry, when we think about the significant changes of sound in modern time that has spawned the likes of whether it's the Travis Scott, the Kid Cudi's, all of these other people, Kanye is the...
As far as Kid Cudi also had a lot of influence on Ye himself. I don't think we get 808s and Heartbreaks without that. And that was when his sound really changed, you know? Ye isn't just doing everything on his own. While he is obviously crazy, the dude does go out of his way to collaborate with people. And because of that, you never stay stagnant. And usually that's when people create their best music.
The originator and Kanye changed hip-hop. He single-handedly, the pink polo guy,
he did.
changed hip-hop from All of this, like, yo, go shorty, it's your birthday, and many men, to basically what emo rap eventually came on. Without him, I don't even think that people like even Kendrick even get spawned, and I don't even think that we get people like X.
I don't know, you're discounting people like Common, you're discounting a lot of 90s hip hop, but Kanye obviously deserves some credit for that influence. But let's not act like Kanye hasn't said that he only used that movement in the beginning to get on because he thought that was the easiest way, and he really didn't like that backpacker movement at all.
I think the majority of hip hop came from Kanye West. I'm sorry.
This guy just is saying shit just to say shit at this point. He doesn't even believe the stuff he's spewing, and for a guy that seems to hate this much, it does look kind of crazy that anytime some Kendrick Lamar music plays, you happen to know more lyrics than the most dedicated Kendrick Lamar fan. So Akademiks, you're basically doing the same thing Ye has been doing, rage baiting for engagement. If Kendrick Lamar can't compare to Ye, then who else do you put in that conversation? Obviously, Kanye has dropped way more music, so his catalog is bigger, but the guy also has like an extra 10 years of career. And this isn't to downplay Kanye's contribution to hip hop. Obviously, the dude is a legend, even though he's doing all this crazy stuff now that's definitely tarnishing his legacy, making him look insane, to the point where a lot of people have basically given up on him and will not listen to his music. The dude has done some goated stuff. He did change the landscape, but let's not discredit Kendrick Lamar. All respects to Murder Mook, but he's nowhere near on the level of Kendrick Lamar, and that's not his fault either, because Kendrick Lamar is obviously going to be on the Mount Rushmore of rappers for a lot of people. But definitely let me know what you guys think. How do you guys think Kendrick Lamar would fare in a battle with Ye? I obviously think it wouldn't be a battle at all. It would be a slaughter, especially given the fact that Ye really hasn't been too focused on music, and you could hear it in the way he's been recording things. Kendrick Lamar has been on a run that's unprecedented. A career year for a career that was already one of the most storied careers in hip-hop. But this is just like in sports, when the once face of the league still wants to be the face of the league and doesn't realize that that's not the case anymore. And instead of embracing the new face of the league and potentially making some classic music together, you're choosing to crash out. Also, let me know if you guys think these catalogs compare, or who you think would win in a versus if we only took 3 projects from both these artists. But Akademiks, I don't believe none of the takes that you spewed throughout this video. I think you lost most people when you compared Kendrick Lamar to Murder Mook. And we've seen you glaze Kendrick Lamar so many times that I don't know how you think we forget all that. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for watching this channel. It honestly means the world to me. And all the love and support you guys continue to show this channel on a daily is honestly overwhelming. I'm definitely looking forward to what you guys had to say on this topic. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. And I don't think there's any confusion as to who would win a rap battle between these guys.